I think it's time to do our scare zones. I'm alone. Lexi couldn't join us, but I think you guys would enjoy it if I just gave you my scare zones anyway. So, sorry for no Lexi, but you got little boo, if that helps. We are going to be ranking our scare zones, basically going from 5 to 1. 5 being not as anticipated and 1 being most anticipated. Now, that's not to say anything because this year alone, all of the scare zones sound amazing, meaning that I have been trying to figure out what's going to be number 1 forever. Like, we filmed the other video and I still wasn't sure what my most anticipated scare zone was. I don't know. I still don't know. It'll probably change by opening night. But right now, this is my list. I'll also include the shows, but that'll be at the end. They come in their own little tier because it's just 2 shows. Okay, but we'll start off with number 5. And number 5 is none other than Horrors of Halloween. Now this just has to go with reputation. Nothing against this scare zone because this actually looks like it's going to be amazing. They brought back the giant trusses, they brought back the whole like Halloween Horror Nights light. We have pumpkins. I'm not upset at all. This scare zone looks amazing, but typically this scare zone is always a letdown. And I mean that as in the front of the park is just a table of context for everything else. But I do think it's going to be a great scare zone nonetheless. Like I've said, I don't think anything is going to be a stinker this year. Let's go to number 4, in which number 4 is Conjure the Dark. Conjure the Dark is the witch's scare zone. However, this is at 4. Like I said, everything here could have been number 1. Number 4, due to the fact that, I don't know, the other scare zones speak to me more. The other ones have me a little bit more excited. Just a little bit. Just looking at all the sets and everything. Now, don't get me wrong. Looking at just the way the stage is set up, the fire, everything, this scare zone will blow our minds. But the other ones have me a little bit more excited. This is my anticipation list. Now, with that being said, we'll go to our number 3. In which, at number 3, at the beginning, this was my number 1, like way forever ago, but it's slowly fallen down. It is Graveyard Deadly Unrest. Now, yes, the sets for this are great. It's in Hollywood, so it's in a prime location for a scare zone. So, do I think this will be amazing? Yes. But it's another case of the other 2 are a little bit better to me, in my opinion, before I got to see it. This is just based off of what we see right now with construction and what we heard through the podcast. So, yes, I cannot wait to see it, but it's currently in the middle of the heap. We'll move down to number 2. Now, 2 and 1 have flip-flopped so many times since I started doing this, since I decided I was going to make a video. So my number 2 is Scarecrow Cursed Soil. The reason this is flip-flopped so many times is just because the other one just sounds amazing. But the more I see this, the better it gets. We have a full-scale barn in Central Park. We have actual scares there. There's scarecrows now along the edges. This is amazing utilization of Central Park. Now, we're not just talking about pumpkins and trees, we're talking about scare and I feel like this is going to be that one Central Park scare zone that's going to soar above the rest. And that's coming from someone that thinks Trick or Treat is the best scare zone that's ever been in this location. So yeah, this scare zone will blow our minds, and probably at the end of the year it might be scare zone of the year. It might be my favorite scare zone, but at the moment it's at number 2 because number 1 is the one that has been given the most story, and that is Sweet's Revenge. Now, Sweet's Revenge is going to be a amazing scare zone. So if you guys haven't been keeping up with us, like me and Xavier going to the tribute store when it was open, well, there was a table in the back and it had basically a description and a story. And that story tied into the scare zone. So basically, we have been keeping up with this story. And if you guys want to know everything about it, go check out the video. I'll link it somewhere on the screen so you guys can see that. But I just feel so involved in this, and I want to see it all take place. I think it's going to be a recall to a good scare zone in New York. So it kind of reminds me of Psychoscarapy, and I really like Psychoscarapy. This could be really good. Altogether, these 5 scare zones are going to be amazing, and they could honestly end up anywhere. This is probably going to be harder to rank than the houses by the end of the event. But now we go to the shows. So the shows, it's kind of easy for me. Ghoulish is number 1, Wildfire is number 2. But I just feel like I prefer the Lagoon show over sitting in Fear Factor or Bill and Ted Tribute Theater, because it's way too hot in there. It's humid, it's already Florida, it's super hot. Now don't get me wrong, that show is amazing because it was a great show last year. However, I'd rather go and watch Ghoulish, because that sounds like it's going to be a nice twist on what Marathon of Mayhem was. So I'm just excited for this event overall. If you guys didn't see our house rankings, I'll put that video up here somewhere so you guys can check that out. And with all that being said, it is Horror Nights week, and Friday will be in the fog. So I hope to see you guys. You guys are amazing. Comment down below your rankings of the scare zones and the shows, and if you want, let me know your houses again, because why not? Subscribe if you guys already haven't done so, and stay excellent, my dudes.